You leave the hangout confused. Nothing bad happened. No one attacked you. Still, something inside you died. They laughed. You laughed too. But you came home heavy, like you had been diminished. You start doubting yourself. Maybe I'm too sensitive. Maybe I'm the problem. And you normalize the discomfort. Here's the truth that hurts. Not every friendship hurts you openly. Some destroy you slowly, while pretending to love you. You don't notice at first, but your choices change. Your faith cools down. Your identity shrinks. The Bible already warned you. Walking with certain people causes damage, not out of cruelty, but out of closeness. How many areas of your life are being ruined without you realizing who has access to you? You are not weak. You were trained to adapt, trained not to bother, trained to smile through pain, trained to stay when you should leave. And this started early. Before you realized, at some point in your life, you learned a silent rule. To belong, you had to adjust. To be accepted, you had to give in. To avoid rejection, you had to stay quiet. You didn't choose this consciously. You simply adapted, like every child does, to emotionally survive. Today, this shows up in your friendships. You tolerate diminishing comments, normalize subtle disrespect, accept irony disguised as humor, defend those who hurt you, question your own perception, and feel guilty for feeling, even when something is wrong. This has a name. It's not love. It's not loyalty. It's not emotional maturity. It's confusion between belonging and self-abandonment. You learned that connection was expensive, and you paid with parts of yourself without noticing. You call it friendship, but you feel drained. You call it connection, but you feel heavy. You call it care, but you feel guilty. The body notices before the mind. Always. These friends don't have to hate you. They don't have to yell. They don't have to betray you openly. They just need to make you doubt who you are, to pull you away from who you were becoming, to mock your faith or minimize your boundaries. That alone causes damage. You start shrinking dreams, softening opinions, hiding values, adjusting your truth to the group, silencing convictions, laughing at things that wound your soul, all to avoid being alone, even while feeling alone. And the most dangerous part? This doesn't look like abuse. It looks normal. It looks like common friendship. It feels like you're exaggerating, like drama, like it's all in your head, but it's not. You're not imagining it. You're perceiving it. Your soul is signaling. Your faith is being tested. Your discernment is waking up. Discomfort is information. Pain is language. And you are not wrong. Understanding this brings relief, because the problem isn't who you are. It's the price you were taught to pay. You never had to abandon yourself to belong. Never. God never required that from you. It was a human lesson, and it can be unlearned. You called it friendship, but it was fear of being alone. You called it loyalty, but it was attachment. You called it maturity, but it was forced silence, and it cost you dearly, very dearly. You believed good friends criticized to make you stronger. That sarcasm means closeness, that sharp jokes are normal, that disrespect is just humor, that tearing someone down is honesty, and you swallowed it all, because being accepted felt more important than being whole. You confused consistency with love, presence with care, habit with connection, time with value. But God never measured relationships by frequency. He measures them by fruit, and some fruit is bitter, even when shared in groups. The most dangerous illusion is this: if I walk away, I'm ungrateful. If I set boundaries, I'm cruel. If I choose myself, I'm wrong. So you blame yourself, correct yourself, shrink yourself, and stay. You started negotiating values, laughing at what wounds your faith, accepting advice that confuses your soul, normalizing behaviors you'd never choose alone. And slowly, without noticing, you drifted from who you were, not out of rebellion, but adaptation. Here's the hard truth. Not every friend wants to see you grow. Some want to keep you where you are, at the same level, in the same pain, because your healing confronts, your awareness disturbs, your growth threatens. You thought it was love, but it was disguised emotional control. You thought it was partnership, but it was mutual dependency. You thought it was support, but it was constant draining. And your body always knew, before you admitted it. That's why walking away hurts so much. It's not missing them. It's guilt. Learned guilt. Installed guilt. Guilt for choosing your own peace. Even though God never asked for that sacrifice. Never. You're not betraying anyone. You're freeing yourself. You're not rejecting people. You're closing cycles. You're not becoming cold. You're becoming clear. And clarity always hurts at first. Always. That friendship wasn't destiny. It was distraction. It wasn't care. It was delay. It wasn't connection. It was a test. And now you're beginning to see, even if it hurts, you didn't arrive here by chance. If this message confronted you, it's because something inside you already knows that certain friendships aren't love. They're a setback. This channel exists to help you see what hurts, understand why it repeats itself, and find the strength to choose differently. Here, you don't receive empty advice. You receive awareness, applied faith, and guidance. Click the button now and subscribe, because protecting your soul is also a spiritual act. God didn't start speaking when the friendship ended. He started when the discomfort appeared, when you came home in silence, when the laughter didn't match the weight, when something inside you resisted. That wasn't confusion, it was discernment. Even without a name, you thought it was immaturity, thought it was pride, thought it was emotional exaggeration. But God never confuses sensitivity with weakness. He uses sensitivity as an alert, as the soul's compass, as silent protection. Before the fall, the Bible says something simple and direct. Walking with certain companions brings damage, not as punishment, but as a natural consequence, because proximity shapes you, coexistence teaches, presence influences, even when no one notices. God wasn't pulling you away through rejection. He was preserving you. He wasn't isolating you. He was refining you. Not every separation is loss. Some are rescue, some are protection. Even when they hurt at first, you weren't too sensitive. You were too honest with yourself. You didn't change for the worse. You woke up, and when awareness awakens, what once felt normal starts to feel heavy, and you can't unsee it. God never asked you to stay in places that dim your light, never asked your faith to be mocked, never asked your boundaries to be negotiable. The burden He offers is light. The weight you felt didn't come from Him. It came from misaligned bonds, from relationships without honor, from confusion. You're starting to understand now. The discomfort was direction. The pain was warning. The exhaustion was a sign. God spoke softly, but clearly. You just hadn't learned how to listen. Until now, God didn't change. Your perception did. You didn't drift from faith. You became more aware, and awareness hurts because it demands choices, cuts, repositioning. God doesn't want to surround you with perfect people. He wants to surround you with people who bring you closer to Him, people who respect your essence, who honor your limits, who celebrate your growth, who don't need to diminish you to exist. That is practical spirituality too, even if no one taught you that. Now something shifts inside you. Not anger, not contempt, but clarity. And clarity brings peace, even when it requires distance, even when it breaks expectations, even when it redefines everything. The first healing isn't walking away. It's stopping the explanations. You don't owe anyone justification for how you feel. You don't need to convince anyone of your pain. Those who respect you listen. Those who love you don't confuse you. Silencing yourself isn't peace. It's self-abandonment. Today's practice is simple. Notice how you feel after every interaction. Don't analyze words. Observe your body. Exhaustion is data. Heaviness is information. Confusion isn't normal. It's a warning. You were taught to ignore inner signals, to spiritualize discomfort, to call a test what was actually a violated boundary. But God also speaks through the body, through restlessness, through the loss of joy, through unexplained exhaustion. That is guidance too. The second healing is spiritual, but practical. Pray before exposure, not after damage. Ask for discernment, not attachment. Clarity, not excuses. Ask for open eyes, even if it hurts, especially if it hurts. Today, pray differently. God, remove from me what pulls me away from you. Don't ask for people to change. Ask to see clearly, because when you see, you naturally move, without fights, without long explanations. You don't need to announce distance. You don't need to confront everyone or prepare speeches. Distance is also an answer. Silence is also a boundary. A change in direction also communicates, and those who need to understand will. The rest is noise. Healing isn't isolation, it's selection. You're not closing your heart. You're protecting the entrance. You're not becoming cold. You're becoming aware. And awareness changes everything, including relationships. When you choose yourself, something interesting happens. Some people disappear, others reveal themselves. Some try to guilt you, others respect you silently. This isn't loss, it's natural filtering. It's alignment. Your faith starts breathing again, without sarcasm, without fear of judgment, without hiding. You hear God without interference. You hear yourself again. You feel peace without guilt. This is healing in progress. Don't wait to feel brave first. Bravery comes after the step. Obedience generates clarity. Clarity generates peace. Peace confirms the path, even if it feels lonely at first. God never abandons those who align. Never. Hey, if you got distracted, come back now. Pay attention to this, because this is the most important part. This was never about them. It never was. It's about you and what you tolerate. You spent years believing you had to fit in. That friendship required constant effort. That love meant enduring discomfort. That staying was maturity. But that was emotional survival, not healthy connection. It wasn't love. It was fear in disguise. You didn't lose friends. You lost illusions. The illusion that you had to shrink to belong, that you had to laugh to be accepted, that you had to stay silent to be loved. God never asked that of you. That was a broken human lesson, and now it's being undone. The loneliness that comes after distance isn't emptiness. It's space. Space to breathe, to hear your own conscience, to hear God without interference, to return to yourself without noise, without guilt. Not everyone will understand your change. Some will call you cold, others selfish, others different. But anyone who needed you small will be disturbed by your clarity. That isn't your problem. It's confirmation. You're not becoming worse. You're becoming whole. And wholeness scares those who fed on your leftovers. Your peace exposes. Your silence confronts. Your absence reveals. That isn't cruelty. It's consequence. You thought losing these friendships would ruin your life, but the truth is the opposite. They were delaying your future, confusing your faith, blurring your vision. Now things begin to align. Even if it still hurts, even if it still feels unfamiliar, God didn't isolate you. He repositioned you. He didn't remove you from love. He removed you from illusion. Those who walk with the wise grow. Certain bonds cause damage, not as punishment, but through proximity. You enter 2026 different, more selective, more aware, less available for emotional crumbs, less tolerant of what dims your light, more faithful to who you are, more aligned with God. And that changes everything. You don't need many friends. You need the right ones, the ones who don't compete, the ones who don't diminish you, the ones who don't confuse your faith, the ones who don't drain your energy. Few, but aligned. You were afraid of being alone. Now you understand. Alone isn't the worst place. The worst place is being poorly accompanied. And now you know this. You know it in your body. You know it in your soul. And you won't forget it. If this message resonated with you, subscribe to our channel. Here, each story reveals why you suffer and what God is teaching you through it. Psychology to understand yourself. Spirituality to understand why. And for those of you who made it to the end of this video, write "I choose peace" in the comments. There is something spiritual that is activated when you become aware aloud. May God honor your lucidity, strengthen your boundaries, and align your future connections.